morning. Today we gathered to decide the fate of the monumental case deciding the punishment for Fa Mulan. This case is both very interesting and unusual due to the conditions in which the crime took place. Fa Mulan has served her country well while being a member of the Chinese Royal Army. However, she joined illegally in place of her father. The Chinese Royal Army strictly prohibits women from joining in combat roles, and the accused blatantly disregarded the rule in place without any consideration for the consequences. That, my fellow citizens, is why you have been called here to serve today. As the law states, only men are eligible to serve in combat roles for the Chinese Royal Army. Women have the honorable duty to stay at home, serving their family as obedient, submissive mothers, daughters, and wives. Mulan ran away, stole her father's armor and weapon, as well as her horse, and deprived her father of the honor to serve his family and country. Our declaration clearly stated that we required one man from each family, and by impersonating a man and a soldier, she has brought shame upon her family that can never be forgotten. In addition to the dishonor that she has brought to her family, she also took the identity of her father and used it to enter the army. This impersonation is not only a crime, but showed disrespect to both her father and her country. She deceived her commander and endangered both her life and the lives of the other soldiers she was serving alongside of. Women have proved to not be physically as capable as men, and if the situation had come where strength was needed, she could have been a harm to her fellow soldiers. For example, if someone had become injured and unable to walk, could she have carried him to safety? I think not. The fact that she was a woman could have caused the men to try to protect her because she's a woman. No matter how capable of a soldier she may be, she still could have changed the actions of other soldiers and endangered their life in the process. This is unacceptable and needs to be punished.
May I begin by saying the charges being filed against my clients are not just unjust, but also absurd. She has shown no signs in hindering the Chinese army and proven herself a capable and exemplary soldier. She was the deciding factor in saving China from the foreign invaders threatening our nation and should be rewarded, not punished. And in response to her impersonating an officer, she only did that to protect her family. The law preventing women from combat is sexist, unjust, and unreasonable. She turned out to be one of the Army's best soldiers and outperformed the men. She brought much honor to her family, and I urge you, the jury, to find her innocent of all charges brought up against her. The prosecutor has made the defendant Mulan out to be a reckless, inexperienced individual who endangered the lives of not only herself, but her fellow soldiers and all of China. But this is simply not true. She didn't endanger anyone. If anything, she saved them. The only thing that held back the Chinese army were the laws that were in place in the first place that prevented women from serving in combat, despite any skills that they might possess. Even though Mulan was capable, or more capable than many of the men that she served with, she was being discriminated against because she was a woman. If anyone says that even though these laws are unjust, Mulan still broke them and deserves to be punished, let me ask you this. What would you do with the knowledge that unless you acted, your father would most likely be dead and in the ground? Would you stand idly by and let him die for the fear that you are a woman and not allowed to fight? Or would you act and contribute to not only your country, but your family as well? Mulan made that choice, and I will leave you to decide whether that choice was right or not. Thank you.
I do admit that I illegally joined the military, but the only thing that I truly did wrong was to be a woman. I fought bravely for an empire that I truly believe in and love. The only reason I fought was because I love my father more than my country, and that is no crime. He is sick and unable to walk without the help of a cane. He served his country nobly before. There is no reason for him, a sick elderly man, to fight when he has a young, healthy daughter like me. If you would like, I can tell you all the good that I did by defying a simple, silly law that says no women in the army. When my country needed my help, I answered. I set myself apart with extreme strength and courage, even during training camp. I was able to retrieve an arrow from the top of a pole Unlike any of the men in my class, when attacked by the Huns, I ran towards them to protect what remained of the men from my battalion. I caused an avalanche that buried the Huns, allowing the remainder of my battalion to escape. During the attack, I was hurt, but still managed to save Captain Li Shang. The only reason that I was discovered to be a woman was because I risked my life to save my captain. By no other standards could you tell I was a woman. I proved the law wrong. Women can fight. After Captain Shang was forced to leave me in the frozen mountains by myself, I made my way to the capital. There I was responsible for the death of Shan Yu, who had survived my avalanche. If it had not been for me, the emperor would have been kidnapped and killed. I saved China, and in the end, my defiance of the law did more good than harm.
To close my case, Fa Mulan is someone who doesn't do the things the right way. She does things the way that are convenient for her at the time. She disregards the rules and the possible effects of breaking them, and doesn't even consider the people around her when making her decisions. I bet she didn't even care how worried her family would be about her leaving. Her father must have been battling between wanting to shame his daughter for bringing dishonor or worry about her being killed. It's a terrible situation to put any parent through, but Mulan shows little remorse for her actions. It's unacceptable for her to treat her family in this manner. Along with this, her actions may cause other women to attempt to be part of the army. Thanks to her, they will start demanding equal pay, the right to vote, working outside the home, and even fair treatment. She has set a terrible example for other women, and will destroy the culture and traditions that we have upheld for hundreds of years. I love this country, and have served it for years, and it pains me to see her crimes being swept under the rug. It's as if she didn't do anything wrong. I urge you, the jury, to not forget what she did. She did do the country a great service, but if we let the ends justify the means, then it's only a matter of time until this country crumbles at our feet. Thank you very much.
My client did perform a service to all of China, and I thank Mr. Chifu for acknowledging that. What I will not stand for, however, is his claim that Mulan didn't care about how her family felt. Of course she cared. How could she not? The whole reason for her actions were because she cared. Frankly, it is insulting that the prosecutor would even suggest that. Any harm she caused to her family was necessary and completely out of love, and to suggest otherwise is blatantly disrespectful. As Mr. Chifu has stated before, my client has set an example for women all over China. He claims that this is a bad thing to do, but I beg to differ. Her actions will not be forgotten as Mr. Chifu claims they will, but rather they will be accepted. It is about time this nation, which I bear endless love for, has shown some progression in equality. Mulan has made the first monumental steps toward equality, and I hope that everyone, not just the jury, will walk with her. Thank you all for your time.